The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
What's going on, good people? Your boy E-Buck in the building, ready to talk to y'all on this I Am Nighthawk. Last get off this long episode of my pod show. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you are doing well. I've been having lighting problems these last couple shows. I do apologize for that. I think that might work. Okay, while I work with all that, hopefully everybody's having a good evening and doing well, and everything is going good in your world. As far as me this week, we working out some issues, but hopefully we'll get them together by the weekend. On to the next problem, you know how that go. But nonetheless, here to talk about some other things with you, and I'm not alone. Technically, I am, but technically, I'm not. What does that mean? That means I have decided I need a co-host for the show. I have found said co-host. His name is CP. CP, also known as Copilot. For those of you not familiar with the app that is Copilot, that is basically AI generated and can help you do a lot of things, including do a podcast. You can check that on out. Look up Copilot. It will send you to the app and all of that. If you choose to put that on your phone, I know how some of y'all feel about AI and its integrations and whatnot into your life, but so far so good. We worked out a show together and we are about to do it. So AICP got some notes for me. Let me go ahead and activate him, and we're going to get the show going. Now, there is a talk feature with this Copilot. I wasn't feeling quite that comfortable with it just yet. Maybe at some point I will integrate that as well. But right now we're just going to go with him being my note taker / co-producer on this broadcast. How about that? There are 3 subjects we have decided we're going to talk about today. We'll first have to talk about him. Yes, him. And his comments about my city. I'll go there in a minute. But also, we found a good news story. Remember, we're going to look up good news stories to have on the broadcast. We ain't constantly talking about crazy stuff all the time. Actually, some good news. So we got a little good news story. And also, we are going to talk to those of you who are in the process of or have in the past had issues with finding a job, and the key problem you're having is dealing with the interview. So we're going to give you some notes to get into as to how to do a better job when you get to the interview portion of the process. So those are our topics for today that me and CP, the co-pilot, has come up with, and we are going to go with that. First and foremost, again, thank you, audience, for tuning in and checking us out. We appreciate you very much. For those of you that's listening on the radio side, we appreciate you as well. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Definitely would appreciate that there. Okay, let's get into it. Now, as you know, there, of course, is the presidential thing going on. We got 20 more days of this mess. I'll be so glad when it's over. But that being said, I've been trying to just chill and just kind of cruise on into it, but could not do that when certain people decided to open their big orange mouth and speak on the place where I lay my head, my hometown of Detroit. For those of you who have been under the rock and don't know what I'm talking about, let me read the notes that we have here. Former President DT, y'all know I don't say his name, you know why. His recent comments about Detroit have sparked significant reactions and discussions, especially among Detroit's residents and leaders. Amen. During an interview at the Economic Club in Chicago, keep in mind, this is the second time he had comments about my city in less than 7 days. He criticized the city, calling it horrible and using it as an example of why the United States is a developing nation. He also made similar comments in Detroit, describing it as a developing area and a once great city. These comments have drawn backlash from Michigan leaders, including Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who had basically told him to keep Detroit out his mouth. I agree. I can't even say with all the respect, because I ain't got no respect for that dude. Here's the thing. When you run for president of these United States, are you not supposed to be running for the president of these United States? That is part of the problem we are having. The division that is being caused, and truthfully, it's being caused with both sides, Democrat and Republican. Remember, I declare myself an independent, so I'm going to speak on it from that. But clearly, there is a heavier burden on one side to down certain things as opposed to the other side. Okay? Now, that being said, I am tired of this man disrespecting the city that is Detroit. He has done this not once, not twice, but a few times. Even when we go back to the 2020 election, accusing us all being crooks and thieves. Keep in mind, one of the first places he wanted to check to see if there was fraudulent ballots going on was here in the city, because he heard this story and so on and so forth. That's why this city is probably going to be the most protected city in the country when it comes to the votes and whatnot, because we ain't got time for no foolishness, okay? None at all. But, sir, why must you speak so ill on my city and then have the audacity to come to the city itself and make those comments within my city? Okay? Is Detroit perfect? No. We know that, okay? Are there worse places than Detroit? I think there is. But this is not a contest of who's worse and worse. This is a content of why. Why would you come to this city? And as opposed to saying things that would get people in the city to actually vote for you, because I believe that's why you were supposed to be here, you would say things to turn the people against you, particularly in this city. Now, yes, we know that in the last election, of the 50% of Detroiters who actually voted, that's a whole nother issue, good people. Of that 50%, the vast majority of Detroiters voted without question for Joe Biden, okay? We know for the most part, Detroit is a very, very, very Democratic vote city in a state that is very much periwinkle, as they like to call it now, when basically half your state is Democrat, half your state Republican. Because as you go further out into suburbia, you'll see a lot more P and that other clown signs than you will see up Harris walls, okay? We know that. But the thing is, you are supposed to govern for all. If you point out certain populations and point out certain peoples and disparage remarks made against them, then in turn leads to people who do not want you to be involved in the office that is president. You have nobody to blame but yourself. I know people are constantly telling this man, okay, you probably shouldn't have said that. Okay, don't say this. Clearly, you choose not to listen because there's enough people on your side of the ledger that's saying, yes, say it all. We love it, knowing that there are Republicans who will vote for DT, but don't really agree with everything that he says and does. Not even half of everything. There's those 3 or 4 points that they always like to point out. The economy, he'll do this and this and that, knowing that half the economy was based upon what he came in with after Obama, okay? And why must that man always want to say Obama's full government name? That in itself is disrespectful in how he does it. The blacks. I don't particularly care for the way he says that either. Excuse me, good people. See, I can't go on this too long because he works up my blood pressure, and as you know, I ain't supposed to get too overly excited having conditions that I do. But yeah, that individual frustrates me because He is not a good representation of what this country is about. Okay, this ain't even a black thing or a white thing. Some of those comments actually are, but in the end, this is a wanting peace and stability thing as opposed to not wanting chaos. I do not understand after how we went through what we went through for those 4 years that there's at least almost half of the country that would actually consider going through all that again, but worse. Have you not heard all of his comments, people? I understand some of us just can't stand to listen to the man whatsoever. But every now and then, you might want to tune into some of these discussions he's having and listen to everything he's saying about the elections and what happens after the elections and so on and so forth. I take him at his word. I do. And some of these things he's putting out here, he's most definitely going to go with. Road to stardom in the building. What's going on, Road? Talking about everybody's favorite former president and the comments he made about my city. Not happy, Road. Not happy. Now, see, even with all that going on, this man has the audacity to actually show back up again tomorrow to not only disrupt the traffic in my downtown area with his barricade and such, but to come make more comments in the city, in the downtown area. Now, I am not trying to incite no riots or get flagged by the book or none of that stuff. So I'm not going to say what I really want to say with that at this point. I'm trying to keep these comments tight for a reason. But I do hope that people recognize that he is coming here tomorrow and have something to say back to him in regards to some of the comments he's made. You know, y'all know what I'm saying. We know where he's going to be now. If some of y'all show up and discuss outside the arena, you get what I'm saying. Ain't mad at that. Not at all. Me, myself, I ain't got time to be bothered with him. I got work to do. But yes, please, whoever is in charge of Clown, discuss with that man tonight. Have him come here tomorrow like he got some sense. Do not make additional comments again on top of everything you've already said in regards to my city. Do not make a bad situation worse. Come here, do your business, and get on and do us all a favor. If you got to keep crisscrossing Michigan, we know you need Michigan. Well, actually, both of them need Michigan in order to get to the presidency. Do your business elsewhere where you more welcome. You know the spots in Michigan where they would prefer you to be at. Be there. Because at this point, we already know the vast majority of us have already made up our minds anyway. We know either we smurfing with him or we ain't. The reason why some of y'all smurfing with him, man, I like I said, it's people that I love and care about that actually have told me that they are going to take their vote and vote for that man. It's very hard to contend with that in my mind. Okay, I still love y'all. We still peoples and families and village and all that. But some of y'all got it twisted, homie, as far as I'm concerned. It's not like I'm in love with the other candidate, mind you. Kamala, you know. Was she my first choice or second choice? No. But when it comes to that choice or this choice, it's not even a contest in my mind. Could never, ever, 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 ever. And we've already had discussions about how I feel about you vote for somebody just because they are a certain ethnicity, or basically even because they are a man or a female, because there will be that on both sides of that debate. Kamala was there talking with Sean. Yep, that was an interesting discussion yesterday. For those of you who have not checked it out, you can go on iHeartRadio and check out that discussion for free. It was an hour discussion. She did discuss a few things that haven't really been discussed by some of the other outlets, as you figure she would with Charlamagne the God. But I think the more interesting discussion you will find is the one that she had with Fox News yesterday. I still got to finish watching that, but yeah, they went there. They went there, and she went back there with them. It was an interesting exchange, to say the least. So yeah, I would check that out as well if you are deeply into the thing. At this point, I know we all just sick and tired. We tired of the ads. We tired of the papers. They didn't just threw so many of these stupid things in my mailbox. I'm tired of looking at it. These 20 days ain't going by quick enough as far as I'm concerned. The only good thing about it is in between that and that, my birthday comes into play. So I'm looking forward to that day, but I'm not looking forward to the Tuesday afterwards. Let's get it over with. Lord knows when the time comes, we're going to have other issues. We'll talk about that once we get a little bit closer. But bottom line, sir, keep my city's name out your flipping mouth. Your mooly mouth. Again, let me not say too much. Remember, he already discussed about what he wants to do with his political enemies if he is to take office. Lord forbid they're looking at my podcast like, yep, you had bad stuff to say about me. Go do stuff with him. I hope it would never get that bad to where we actually knocking on the door like, yeah, did you vote for him? Yeah, you come with me. I hope it never gets that bad here in our America. But at this point, based on some of the rhetoric that's been said, I don't know what to expect. Okay? That part there. All right. I done said my piece. I had to get it off my chest. I debated on either if I was going to talk about it, but I didn't say it enough. Feel free to give your comments later on in the comments or send them to my email, so on and so forth. In the end, you're going to vote for who you vote for. I can't be mad at that. At least you're going to vote. If you ain't going to vote at all, that's a whole nother story. I'm tired of the misinformation given by Cheeto Pedo. Nice one, bro. Nice one. I'm tired of the misinformation all the way around, okay? Because, yeah, you know, CNN, credible news source to a degree. Fox, not so credible news source to a degree. But at times they do tell some things that the others don't tell. And you kind of need to know the whole story. So as crazy as it sounds, yes, sometimes I still listen to Fox. And sometimes I listen to CNN. And sometimes at the same time. So I need the whole story. I need to know the whole scenario. So I do that. But anyway, we're going to take a commercial break. Y'all know what time it is. Please check out Road to Stardom. Road. This weekend, probably Sunday or Monday, we need to talk. I got an idea for you. We'll talk about it this weekend. But anyway, in the meanwhile, please check out Road to Stardom. Here's how you find it.
On Blog Talk Radio or where most great music podcasts are located. Don't forget to subscribe and show some love.
Yes, people, we are back. This is I Am Nighthawk. Get off this long pod show. The mixture there, depending on if you're on radio side or video side, you know what it is. Anyway, we talked about DT enough. We moving on to the next subject. Good people, are you happy with your current place of employment? Are you there and wants to get out? It's one of the reasons why you choose not to move is because you dread the whole getting hired interview process. Would you like some help with that? We got a little bit for you. I watch Roland Martin for my facts because he breaks it down. Yes, he does. He does a very good job of it too, by the way. Roland Martin. That is definitely a decent source to find your information. And he also encourages people to do their research, as I often do as well. So I'm not mad at that, bro. But okay, thanks to my good buddy CP. As you know, like I said, we got AI integration in the show now. So CP helped me make some notes for the show. And he came up with these notes for what to do to help you prepare for an interview. Because most people, they go through an interview model that's very similar to some of the things that we're going to talk about, okay? Keep in mind, I've been on both ends of this table. I've been the person that's been getting interviewed, and I've also been the person that has given an interview. So I will get my 2 cents in here after the fact, but here we go. These are the common interview questions that you often find in your interview process. So first and foremost, please make yourself presentable when you go to the interview, please. I understand, even if it's a fast food restaurant job or something minimum wage, you should always be looking decent, okay? Do something nice with your hair. Make sure your hygiene is good. Put on a nice shirt, pants, dress, whatever you are, whatever case may be, okay? Dress the part. Dress like you actually want this part. I know you've heard this time and time again, but yes, it does matter. It may simply even come down to that in certain cases. Whether, okay, these two are the same, but I see how this one person dressed, I see how this other person dressed. They seem to care a little bit more. I'm going to go with that. That part there, okay? Also, even if you work in a place, don't just automatically assume that you in there, okay? I know some people have the hookup and the friends, benefits, and all that good stuff, but please, if you actually still doing the interview process, there's a reason for that. Go into that as if you're not getting the job and you're going to do everything in your power to make that happen. Don't just assume things. Okay, that's that 2 cents. Let me move on. First of all, you oftentimes get asked this question. Tell me about yourself, okay? My advice to you is tell them honestly how you are. You want them to have an idea of what type of person they are getting when they are hiring this person. That is why you ask that question. If you one of them people and you get told, tell me about yourself, and you don't say much, that in my mind, as a former interviewer, was a red flag, okay? If you don't choose to answer that question too much at all, that don't usually bode well later on down the line. Okay, another question you often will be asked, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay, again, people don't like to speak ill of themselves. So when it comes to the weakness part of that scenario, it's hard to voice that in a way where you don't seem like you clowning yourself. My advice to you is, because you know there's been people in your life that have told you, you know what, you're just not good at ABC. If you have that in your mind ahead of time to discuss, you basically should go into the interview and discuss your weaknesses first, okay? Whatever they are, and find a nice way to put them where it does not make you sound like a clown or idiot or somebody bad, but sound like somebody that knows they have some shortcomings and they need to be worked on, and you are working toward doing a better job of that, okay? So, yeah, if you get asked that question, discuss your weaknesses first and then turn around and talk about your strengths, okay? And make sure your strengths coincide with what you're trying to do in terms of the job. If you are trying to get a job as a manager and you feel like your strengths is leadership, you want to formalize that thought process into what you think the job that you are trying to get fits into that, okay? That's what I'm talking about. So again, stuff weaknesses first, then the strengths. Next question. Why do you want to work here? The common answer that basic person A will give you is because I need the money. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. We already know, obviously, you want to work here because you are in need of employment to get paid. That's a given. Okay. That's an automatic. That's a assumed. Okay. We know that already. They want to know, or I want to know, whoever's asking the question, they want to know why you want to work here. We talk here as in this specific place. And yeah, I don't think it's crazy if you say, okay, I want to work here because all my friends work here and they tell me it's a nice place to work. That's a cool answer. I'm not mad at that. You know, some people, they feel some type of way about hiring people who are friends with other people that already work there. I think that actually plays into the advantage of the place that's hiring. Because if you have people that already have a relationship outside of work and they are friends, then that tends to bode well for them working well together. Now, then, of course, there's the people who are trying to work there because their family members work there. That's another story. If you find out that is the case as the interviewer, the next follow-up question, because, you know, of course, you learn about follow-up questions as a journalist, of which you know I study. Obviously, it's okay, what is your relationship with that person that you are related to? If that person, say, for instance, is that person's mother or father, that's going to hit a little different than if that's that person's cousin or that. If that's that person's fiance, that's gonna hit a little different than if that's just that person's third cousin removed, what have you. Okay. So yeah, if that is the case and it's the relationship of that level, you probably better off not really mentioning that unless it's already known. Okay. But the friend thing, that's fine. But why do you want to work here? You want to give them some quality reasons why you yourself want to work in that establishment and help to make it a better workplace. Okay. Next question. Describe a time when you faced a challenge at work and how you dealt with it. They are trying to find out two things by asking you this question. One, when things get bad and out of hand, are you going to go on nut mode? Okay. Are you going to be a problematic person to deal with when you become angry at the job? That is one of the things you are trying to ascertain by asking that question. Two, when things get stressful and hectic, are you going to be a basket case and lose it, cry, run, leave the building, etc., etc.? We also want to know that when you are asked that specific question, okay? So what you want to answer with is, okay, this is what happened, this is how I felt, and this is how I dealt with it. And if you dealt with it favorably, that plays to your advantage. If you didn't deal with it well, you at least need to describe why and determine in that person's mind that, okay, that was just that situation. I've grown, I've learned from my error, my ways, so on and so forth. If this comes up this time, I would deal with it better. That part. Okay. Next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay. Now this could be tricky depending on what type of job we talking. I'm gonna be very straight up honest with you. When I was hiring people, let's just say when I was the manager at McDonald's, for instance. When I asked that question, I'm expecting 1 or 3 answers. 1, well, I think I'm still gonna be here doing this and this and this. 2, okay, in 5 years I'm not gonna be here no more because I'm gonna be in college, blah blah blah. Or 3, yeah, I'm gonna try to have your job in 5 years. Those 3 are all acceptable answers to me personally. Okay. In an ideal world, if you are working at a McDonald's or across someplace like that, you should not have the mindset that, okay, 5 years from now, I'm still going to be on the fries, or 5 years from now, I'm still going to be the stock person, or what have you. If that is a job and you're looking at it as a possible career or someplace you're trying to be long term, you want to have long term goals for what you are going to do there. Okay. If in the end you go to a job and you say, I just want to drive the bus, if you're a bus driver, that's fine. And bus drivers make good money. But if in the end the bus driver is basic person A at this job, and based on the rest of the interview, I see you possibly be in management or something, if you just come with that, that kind of downplays everything else that you done said. Okay. So my advice to you is, if you know what job it is, have a realistic understanding of what you should be at that point. Okay. If 5 years from now you honestly thinking that, yeah, I still plan on being on McDonald's, you could tell them that, but I suggest you tell them why. Well, I'm gonna be here because, I think this is a good part-time job, and I actually like doing the fries. I did it at Burger King, so and so and so. I'm good at the fries. What have you? Or, yeah, I'm trying to be the manager here because, in other places and whatnot, I like this more of a corporate structure. I like the benefits, what have you. That's why in 5 years I still want to be here doing this with more of a raise, so on and so forth. Have that type of discussion when it comes to that part of the interview, okay? Some other things that CP advises you should do. When you have answers, keep your answers concise and relevant to the job. Yes, please do not go in the interview and you get asked the question, and 10 minutes later, we didn't got to talk about your grandma, your auntie in there, and how we went to the circus, and so on and so forth, and then math, I'm not so good. If we didn't went that far off the topic of what we're supposed to be talking about, that indicates to me that you might have issues with concentrating, or staying focused, and it may be a job that requires that, and that may not be so good. Or either that, or you basically just loosey goosey with the lips. And if it's one of those jobs where if you are constantly going to be talking and that's going to be disturbing to the other employees or the situation, not so much. Yeah, keep it nice and tight with the answers, okay? Another thing says highlight strengths and address weaknesses from a focus on improvement, as I said before. Use the STAR method for situational questions. In other words, situation, task, action, result. In other words, this is what happened. This was the result, so on and so forth. This is how I dealt with it. This is what went on from there. Okay. And then you should try to demonstrate emotional intelligence and a growth mindset. As in, okay, I know I'm coming into this thing as a younger person or a person not knowing this industry or whatnot, but I have a willingness to learn. I understand it's a process and I'm willing to go through it. And this is my mindset. That's what we should feel as the employer as we have these discussions with you. Other things I would advise, yes, if you are not completely sure how the pay system works, it's not wrong to ask that. It's crazy how some people be like, well, no, don't ask them how much you're going to make or how much you could make. No, the hell you don't not ask them that. You absolutely ask them that. You definitely want to know that. You want to know where this boat is going. I mean, clearly, some of the things people usually ask with no problem is when we get paid, what day is payday, do we get paid every week, every 2 weeks, all of that. You know that? Hi there. Hey, Miss Gina, what's going on, boo? Thanks for checking into the show. We appreciate you. Looking good. I like that profile pic. I like it. Looks good. How's things going? Are you still over there in Boston? How are you? I am good, thanks. Hopefully you are doing well also. Again, thank you for checking into the show. You are a person who has been employed. What is some of the advice you would give people in regards to interviewing and interviews? And I would also say that I do believe you have been on that other end of the table with hiring people too. I miss your face too. Thank you for that. That made my day. It did. But yeah, like I said, you're going into the job scenario. You want these people to know that, yeah, I am competent. I am willing to work. This is how I look at things. This is what I expect in return. Yes, I have. I figured as much, Gina. So yeah, like I said, I'm giving them the perspective from being the person that has been interviewed, as well as from the perspective of the person that has done interviews. Me, myself, I usually go into the interview process thinking, okay, I'm looking for 1 or 2 people. These are the major points I want them to touch on without me having to pull it out of them. Self-motivated people were people that I was looking for when I was trying to hire. Because in the end, if you are highly self-motivated, you are usually a very good worker. If you're a person that's got to be tugged and pulled at every little possible to get you to do just basic minimum, you're not going to last long, okay? Some people, they go into that thing, especially in the fast food industry, those entry-level jobs, they look at it like, I just need a body. I'm tired of having to find somebody to put on this schedule. Let me get this body in here. Let's see how it work out. Or I hire multiple people with the thought process is, okay, sooner or later, one of them is going to be good. And then the other one, either they just won't get no hours or they eventually will work themselves out the process. Gina says, I agree. Be self-motivated. Absolutely be self-motivated. Because, like I said, it's in this day and age, particularly when you talk about certain industries, if you are a person who is not willing to show that, yeah, I'm here, I'm trying to get my hours, I'm trying to get this money, then more than likely you are going to be the person on the other end, particularly if you get into one of those car industries, something like that. You see how quick they are to lay off people this day and age. In the end, if you are a highly motivated, well-worked worker with good work ethic, it's hard to lay off those people. If you're a person that basically just show up to work, punch in, punch out, do just enough to get by, they don't have no problems letting you go. None at all. You serve but so much purpose in that world. So yeah, those are some of the things that we advise. And again, like I said, main things to remember from this conversation: one, be presentable at the interview. Two, whether nervous or not, please make sure that you answer questions concisely and with good points. Okay. Three, make sure you ask appropriate questions because in the end, oftentimes people become upset later on down the line because when they had the opportunity to ask the questions that they needed to know then, they decided not to because they just wanted to hurry and get it over with, or they were scared that the answers that they would receive was going to be something that would cause them not to get the job. I want you to know what type of hours you're looking at. I want you to know when you get paid. I want you to know what hours equal what pay. I want you to know that there are possibilities that you could get promoted later on down the line. These are the things you should ask day one. So you know day one what your expectations should be. Hell, even if you want to be completely honest, I've had a couple of those people be like, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just trying to find a job. This one is not exactly what I wanted, but I will work until I find something better. When I do, I will let you know. And they told me that up front, day one. I hired both of those people. It worked out well in both of those cases. I wasn't mad at that. Because in the end, yeah, it was McDonald's, it was Wendy's, it was wherever I was the manager at the time. I'm not expecting you to look at this as your career. I wasn't looking at it as my career when I was there. And I was the store manager. I had other ideas of what I wanted to do later on in life. So I get that. So yeah, hopefully some of those things will be helpful in your thing. And right now, let me also say this. For those of you who are working right now and not happy with your place of employment, please don't feel like it is your only alternative. And it don't matter what you do for work, okay? Hell, I would tell that to Joe Biden right now. I understand you president and you're not about to be soon. It's still other things you can do with your life, even at the age 80, to be helpful. You've been a servant of the people for over 50 years. It ain't over for you either, bro. You can find things to do, preferably something that's not gonna be too stressful on your body, because y'all do note that ever since this transpired, Kamala took over, we don't see Joe much at all. And I think that's purposely so. They was kind of right to question Kamala about that last night on Fox News. I ain't gonna lie about that. And the way she answered it, it didn't make it look good. I can't lie about that either. But anyway, that is the discussion on the job. Now, again, I've given y'all guys an assignment. We are tired of all the TikTok challenges that are just about basic BS, okay? So I gave you guys a challenge to find me some good news stories so we could come on these shows and have some good news to talk about. So CP, I challenged him to find me a good news story. He found me a few. I will discuss a couple. One of the stories he found was good news story. Y'all ready? Here you go. 16-year-old inventor created a device to help the visually impaired. This young innovator's dedication and creativity have the potential to transform lives, making navigation easier for those with visual impairments. So basically, let's just say you are a person, you are not blind, I think completely blind, but you are legally blind. This person has come up with some type of device that makes it easier for you to get around, even though you can't fully see. You know, I think it's some things that involves extra sounds and you know, interfaces with walls and whatnot. I don't know exactly how it works, but keep in mind, 16 years old, okay? Not even out of high school yet. And you coming up with an innovation that might change the world as we know it. That's awesome. That's a stick, says Gina. Oh, that's funny. You are a character, my friend. Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. But no, actually, I think it's a headset device. Actually, that's what it is. But the thing is, people, oftentimes when we are kids, we just think, I'm a kid. What I know? I'm not going to worry about what I really want to do with my life until I get to that point. But then there are some kids out here, they built a little different. They come into this world almost like they've been here before. And they come with a whole different mindset of, okay, I'm about to do this, this, and this. Understand, one of the richest people on the planet right now, Northwest. Yes, Northwest, Kanye's oldest child, okay? They didn't put stuff in her name, and she got her record deals going on. She got companies and whatnot. That child is worth damn near $500 million by her doggone self. Just her. Nothing to do with the rest of the fam, just her. And when you listen to that child talk, on the one hand, she sounds very much like an 11, 12-year-old child and the giggles and all that. But on the other hand, you can tell it's been some grown folks talking to that child. And she got an understanding of the world that is very keen when it comes to talking about business, accompaniment, and the future and all of that. Based on some of that, and you can go on YouTube and look up some of her interviews, that child might end up being richer than all of them when it's all said and done. I just like her mindset right now. And there's other kids out here like that. So yeah, encourage the young people to do what is in their mind to do. Because you never know, that might be the very invention that saves the planet one day. Or that might be something that revolutionizes AI or television. Or that might be how we actually finally get to Mars because this kid done thought of this and that and this. You never know. Some of these kids far more intelligent than we even know, okay? Some kids scared to let you know how smart they really are because they get bullied and teased and whatnot. If you see that, try to encourage those young people to do them and be the best person they possibly can be, okay? Do that. So again, y'all, we are looking for good stories. Every week we want to try to have at least one. Here's one more that CP came up with. Where is that story? Hold on. Oh, by the way, that navigation system, major tech companies are already taking notice, and his invention could become a game changer in accessibility technology, according to some of the companies. So, yeah, by the time that kid get out of high school, not only will he probably have a job, he might be the man at the job. He might be your boss one day. And you're going to want to know how to interview with him, right? See how it all tied in together? See how I did that? Anyway, the other good news story, let me find it. Hold on. Okay. During a severe flood in recent light of the hurricanes and all that, a rescue team worked to save dozens of dogs and cats and bring them to other states. In other words, remember, people, oftentimes when we think about the hurricanes and whatnot, first thing we think about is, oh man, these people's houses is messed up and displaced and whatnot. We forget that there's other factors involved, one of which is, okay, do I save me or do I save Fido or Spot or Prickles or whatever? Sometimes it comes down to that. Like, okay, I can swim up out of here, but yeah, Spot, I can't carry you on my back. You're too heavy, homie. Sorry for you. Or yeah, this place started flooding, and the cat said, "Damn that, I'm up out of here." And now I can't find the cat, but I got to go. So hopefully you're gonna be all right, kitten. So yeah, when you get to going back to these communities and seeing the damage and whatnot, sometimes it's these animals like, I don't know what my owner is. Things got out of hand, they dip, but I'm still here. I'm kind of hungry. Can we do something with me? I would like to find my owner. Don't know what happened to him. They just kind of left me here. But yeah, I'm home. That part. And then of course there's all the shelters, because in the end it's like, okay, do we deal with the people or do we deal with the animal shelter? Yeah, we got people here. So these animals, they're going to find some other way to contend. And sometimes people are smart, like, okay, well, yeah, since this place don't take my pet, I guess I at least better send my pet to this other city or whatnot, so they'll be all right. Because you know how some people feel about their animals. You have an animal, Jenny, you know what I'm saying? Some people, they love their pets like human beings, okay? They are truly family members. They're not just gonna get treated any type of way. But in the end, I think most humans would agree. If it come down to me or my pet, sorry, Rexy, I got to dip. I love you. Make sure you stay on top of the dresser. Hopefully it won't flood up that high. We'll see if we can get you next week, okay? It comes down to that. Yes, there's Gina. So yeah, so it was very nice that this organization went to the ravaged places in the hurricane and grabbed some of these animals and brought them back. Matter of fact, some people here in Michigan was on one of those missions and brought back several of the animals to find forever homes now because their owners couldn't be found, or when they tried to find chips and whatnot, they didn't have them. May I say that, by the way, if you have an animal that you deeply care about and love, three things. One, get them chipped. Yes, the microchip costs maybe couple $100. But if you love your animal like that, it's worth it. Okay? It's just like how you give one of your children a phone when they leave the house, or have them wear one of these watches or what have you. Same thing. Your animal can't speak to you directly. You like to think they can. But in the end, since they can't communicate, okay, I'm lost, this is where I live, then the next best thing you can do is put a chip in them so that in the event that they get lost, people can look up here like, oh yeah, this is so-and-so's animal. They live here in Iowa, blah, 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 blah. Okay, one. Two, people, stop letting your animals run around loose outside. Okay? Every freaking day that I'm out here in these streets, I see animals that are clearly somebody's pet that's just walking around the street all willy-nilly. Now, a lot of these animals, they're a lot smarter than you might give them credit for. So, yeah, they not only leave the crib, but they know how to find their way back. So you just let them out the door every day. They go do what they do, like they got a whole job out here. They come on home, and you don't know what that animal done did, who they done bit, who they been humping, none of that, okay? Just like a no good. But in the same token, that animal might leave your house one day and commit some type of atrocity. In other words, that dog might leave the crib, bite up some children on the way to school. That cat might leave the house and impregnate half the hood, or come back with all type of itchies and scratchies from messing with the wrong stuff. Okay, and now they got all type of fleas and ticks on them, and they brought them all in the house. These things happen. Yes, even people probably got that thing called C19 from letting their pets roam around it. Because yes, some of the pets even had it. Okay, they're eating the pets. Every time I think of the word pets, and I can't help but think about that foolishness there. He's still talking about that, even still. Don't come here to Detroit tomorrow saying that mess either, DT. We ain't trying to hear about how they eating the pets. Foolishness. Total foolishness. Anyway, yeah, so please put a collar on your pet. You know, it's not inhumane. It's you protecting others. It's you protecting your pet, okay? And once y'all in the house, let them do them and be them and all that. But if they out the streets, make sure you got them on some type of leash or something. It's the right thing to do. And the third thing about pets, let me say this: some animals were not, I repeat, not meant to be your pet. You need to know that, and I promise you, them animals need to know that. Alligators was not meant to be your pet. Okay? Because on the one hand, yeah, they might grow up and you had it since the egg and all that, but it's an animal, okay? Pigs not meant to be your pet. Well, no, I can't totally not say that. That ain't completely true, Gene. Because the little pot-bellied pigs and all that. They domesticated up, and actually some of them pigs be smarter than some of the dogs. So maybe not so much the pigs. But yeah, definitely not raccoons. Raccoons definitely not meant to be your pet, okay? Remember, raccoons and animals like that, they are wild in nature, okay? Yeah, you may have had that raccoon since it was this little bitty. But one fateful day, you may wear the wrong scent. You might have the wrong flavored meat on your hand. It could be a variety of different things, and that raccoon suddenly nuts up on you and scratches you all up and bites you all up, and it's a problem, okay? Raccoons not pets. Sorry, Poco daughter, if you're watching this, because she does love her raccoons and her possums, but no, possums not pets, okay? Raccoons not pets. All right. Rodents not pets, okay? Yeah, the guinea pigs, you know, them fine, but no, some of y'all actually have rodents as pets. You know what I'm talking about. Again, alligators, no. The monkeys, no. Monkeys, not pets. Every year, there's that one story that come out there. Yeah, the monkey that tried to rip the person's face off and what have you. Monkeys, not pets. Yeah, y'all done seen that documentary about the lady that had the monkeys and the gorillas? Definitely not pets, okay? The rodents run around the house. Exactly. No, yeah. We don't want Mickey or Rodney Rat running around the crib. Domesticated, no. No, sir. Anything that could get in the wall and out the wall, I don't want as a pet. They don't tell us what's in the walls. Ew. Ew, Gina. Ew. Nice use of the emojis, but yuck. Can't stand them. Can't stand them. Anyway, yeah. If you're gonna have a pet, be responsible. That's all I'm saying. There's a few people online with pet. Oh, yeah. It's several people have monkeys as pets. And in most states, it is illegal to have a monkey as a pet. Okay? In most states. And I think in certain states, it's illegal to have certain types of monkeys as pets, period. Okay? But yeah, you know, some people, they like them exotic animals. They have anything as a pet if you let them. Felicia checking in. What up, Fee? She said there was a show called Fatal Attraction. That's the one that was about folks with animals that shouldn't be pets and what happened to them. Yep, that's an excellent show, by the way. I did see a couple episodes of that. Yeah, check that out, y'all. Fatal Attraction. And like, if I remember right, one of the episodes, there was a snake and the lady had the pet, and that snake ended up eating that egg. When you got a snake this doggone big, and you know what you've been feeding it, and then seen it eat stuff, you know at some point it's gonna think, yeah, damn all this little meat, I want this delicious human meat. I've been all rubbing on your stuff. You've been smelling real delicious. I bet I could open my mouth picking up to eat your word. If not you, definitely your child. Your child look like a nice little bite-sized morsel of meat. Just don't do it. They jump around the house and climb the dressers. The monkeys, yes. The monkey was showing her owner's panties from the drawer. Oh, no. Gina said, laughing my ass off, pulling everything out the drawer and putting them on his head. Oh, janky monkey. Janky monkey. By the way, I've been working on this album of electronic music. One of these songs is entitled The Ballad of the Janky Monkey. I literally named it that, The Ballad of the Janky Monkey. I'm still working on all that out. I'm going to try to get that uploaded sometime next month. The name of the album, by the way, is called Land of Oblivica. It is an album of electronic music that I've been working on, little beat makers and whatnot. You know, hopefully y'all like it. But yeah, one of these songs is entitled The Ballad of the Janky Monkey. And that's what that reminds me of. I was cracking up, said Gina. But anyway, good people, that is what I got for today. Thank you, CP Copilot. Remember, look up Copilot on your app store, and it will take you there, and you can ask Copilot all type of questions on a variety of different subjects. It'll give you some stuff to ask it. There's a part of it where you can set up it to talk back to you and all of that. It's kind of like Chat GPT somewhere along them lines. So if you want to check it out for yourself and have it assist you in some things, by all means, check it out. But yeah, moving forward, we're going to have CP be my assistant and help me formalize the show. So I appreciate you, CP. Thank you. Anyway, we're about to call it an evening again. For those of y'all on the radio side, Gina, Felicia, if you get a chance, what I would like for you to do, my friends, and thank you for your support always, especially you, actually, Felicia, yeah, I need you to get in touch with me next week too. I might have something for you as well. You are to go to the App Store, my friends, and this is for all of you. I want you to go to the App Store, and I want you to look up Live 365, okay? I'm going to type that in a minute, but I actually got the picture that I want y'all to look for. Hold on, let me find it here. Those of you on the radio side, you're already there, so you already know what it is. But anyway, you are going to go to Live 365, okay? And then I want you to look for the Nighthawk Network Radio, okay? You're going to find this symbol right here. Okay? Live 365. Look up Nighthawk Network Radio. It's going to take you to this picture that you see right here for those of you looking at it on the video side. For those of you on the radio, like I said, you already know what it is. I got that app, says Gina. So, yeah, you already know where it is. So, look up Nighthawk Network Radio, and you'll find me there. We are playing on that platform 80s and 90s music. We also have different little shows that we're doing throughout the week. This week, my friends, on Friday night, we are going to have the house party music. We call it the DJ Deep Fried House Mix. So, yeah, for those of y'all that was around that time, y'all know those types of songs. Time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. That type of stuff. You will hear those types of songs on there. And then on Saturday night, we got this thing that we are calling Granny's House. The Granny's House party mix. Well, basically, we're going to go way back in the day and play some of that old school music, some of that old, like, Commodores, brick houses, stuff like that. We're going to do that on Saturday nights about 9 p.m. And then, of course, we got some comedy segments that I do on the whatchamacall. Right now, it's probably playing Auto DJ. But later on tonight, we're going to have night mode. So if you like that good R&B slow jam music, you can go and listen to that on the app. We do that pretty much every night. So I call it night mode, and I go, back in the day type slow jams. You know what I'm talking about? Some of that good Luther and Sade and all that good stuff. So please check out my radio station, Nighthawk Network Radio. You can also go on my Facebook page. I have it pinned there where you can go straight to the link, and it will take you to the station directly, and you can go ahead and check it out. Please let me know what you think. There's also a Nighthawk Network Radio page that you can find. Look that up on Facebook, and you can find that as well. I appreciate y'all for doing that for me. And again, Felicia, if you're still in the building, hit up my IG, my Instagram. Like I said, I think I might have something of interest for you in regards to station. But we'll talk about it later. Anyway, good people, I am headed out. Thank you very much again for checking out the show. This has been the I Am Nighthawk. Get off this long, cold edition of the Podshow. Like I said, if you're watching here, it's I Am Nighthawk. If you're listening on the airwaves, that is Live 365. Or you can also find the show, by the way, on the WTEA radio. That is also on Live 365. Shout out to my dude, Big Meech. My show also plays 2 or 3 times a week on that as well, along with something else that we call the Chill Zone. Again, some of that good R&B music, put you in that proper mood. You can find that on WTEA radio as well as Nighthawk Network Radio. And also shout out to Atlanta Hot Radio, WAHR. That's also on Live 365. Some of the DJ mixes that I've been doing, you can find on that station. So we've been busy. We're going to stay busy. Again, thank y'all for checking in. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Be safe. Be blessed. Good to see you, Felicia and Gina. Good to see you, Road, as always. Thank you to everybody else that's tuning in. Feel free to leave your further comments later on as you check out the show on the rebroadcast, okay? Until next time, y'all, like I said, be safe, be blessed. When all else fails, put your hands together, pray to God, and let him deal with the rest. See you, Gina. See you, Fee. See you, Road. Friends, am up out of here. Where is that good old outro? There it is. Deuces, y'all.